Assalamu alaikum everyone. CricTok is back with another video. Had another exciting match in the Ashes, so third match of the series. Congratulations, half-hearted congratulations to England because I think they tried their level best to throw away the match.
Yeah.
But somehow they were able to hang on to a three-wicket win. I think when the seventh wicket fell, there was still a little bit of a chance that there could have been a collapse because the batting left for England wasn't that convincing, and it could have been anyone's game the way this match swung around multiple times. But anyways, congratulations to England. They're back in the series. 2-1.
It is pretty clear that baseball approach will not work against Australia. They are a good team. They bowl very well. They have the game sense. They know exactly if something is not working, how to change it. I think placement of fielding, attack to the batsman, bowling short balls, getting the wickets, especially when they know that these guys will go for the shots. I think that was key thing because.
And Sherry, I also think if there's anything in the wicket for bowlers, right? I mean, if it's a flat track, then baseball works perfectly, right?
Yeah, agreed.
But if there's anything for the bowlers, I think one thing which is coming out of this series is that baseball is not working, and there's some serious question marks about baseball. And I think what you and I were discussing before the call, that Stuart McGill put it aptly that baseball might be the place for certain cricketers to hide because they cannot withstand the pressures of 5-day test cricket. So they'll swing around, and then when they fail, they will say, well, it was baseball. Some days it works, some days it doesn't.
Still, you can see that the test match ended in 3 days because it seemed like everyone was in a rush. There was a rush in innings. Even today, when England was chasing, like if you see Root getting out on a leg flick, I mean, that's a test match. You leave that ball. You don't have to play. And then shots on the third stump, outside of off stump. I think giving catches in the slip, that's not test match cricket. That's just going for your shots. And
exactly.
I think Australia definitely did well. To be fair, I mean, I will give this match not to England team, just the chance, the luck they got.
I think I really have to call out one of the changes that you suggested, which was bringing Chris Woakes in. And I think the CricTok panel discussed was that if there's something in the wicket, Chris Woakes can be really effective. And I think that's something which happened. The other was the added pace or the extra pace of Mark Wood.
Exceptional bowling. If you see his spells, like I know he bowls 4 overs or 5 over spells, but the first spell, 4 overs, only 4 runs. I mean, unplayable bowling.
I think the way he got Usman Khawaja out, it was a full toss, right?
Oh my God.
It was sheer pace, right? It was just pace, brute force, which actually, got that wicket.
It is a nightmare, Waleed. I'm telling you. Even if it's a full toss coming at 150 at you, in just split seconds, you miss it and it's going to go and bang your stump. And exceptional bowling.
I think England also prepared them well, right? So in the first couple of matches, you had a consistent barrage of short pitch balls at 80 miles per hour, right?
Yes.
I think Michael Holding was made a very interesting comment saying that, this is, there's no reason to call this bowling off. This is just bread and butter because 80 miles per hour bouncers don't matter. But I think there was a complete change. Mark Wood was actually trying both lengths, right? The full length, he bowled effectively, and also the short pitch ball, right? So he did really well.
Mitchell Marsh. I mean, he actually made the test match for Australia, to be fair. If we talk about he scored a run of ball 100, which is, I think, amazing at that.
But he was dropped on 12 by Joe Root, right?
Well, a lot of players got dropped. Fielding standards, I think
the fielding standard is quite questionable. And I think one of the things that we were discussing, so I'll come back to Mitch Marsh because that was an exceptional knock. And a counter-attacking knock, especially when England were on top and Australia were under pressure. But I think one thing we have to highlight is that they made some positive changes, as you said, Mark Wood coming in, Chris Woakes playing. But Sherry, I have some doubts about certain positions in this English team. So, for example, I don't think Johnny Bairstow makes it as a wicketkeeper batsman. I mean, if you want to play him as a pure batsman, it's fine.
I was talking to a friend. I was talking to a friend yesterday at cricket, right? And he made a very good comment that the only reason why Bairstow is playing this year is because last year was exceptional for him. Right? He made a lot of runs. But
that's fine. I think as a batsman, I don't have an issue with Johnny Bairstow playing because he can play the baseball version of cricket, but he's not a good wicketkeeper.
But Waleed, third test, he hasn't done much. His fitness, I have questions on that.
It's very
I think,
extremely stiff. Extremely
yeah,
stiff as a wicketkeeper.
and the number of catches he has dropped behind the stumps. I mean, England, that if they lost this test, it would have been because of him. Because
Yes.
you cannot.
So I
I
think
mean,
you
if
brought
you
up.
are so adamant that you want to go for baseball, then why are you not playing Butler?
Exactly.
If you
I
want, I
would
mean,
completely agree
he
with you.
can destroy. If he gets on and he starts playing, he'll
Hmm.
score 100, 200 runs in like 50 odd balls. That's your baseball there, right? Why? Why
Or
not?
they can, if they really want to play Johnny Bairstow, they can always,
Play him
play
as a
Umar
baseball.
Akmal. Umar Akmal is available. Or if they need a fast bowler, left-arm fast bowler, Mohammad Amir is also available.
Mohammad Amir.
So,
Yeah, he's getting his passport. There's a lot
yes,
of talk
yes.
next year, right?
So, I mean, if Mohammad Amir gets his passport, I'm sure Umar Akmal, who's given a warning to the Pakistani selectors that if they don't select him, then he
Hmm.
might be on his way out as well. So,
Yeah.
anyways, what's your updated prediction for this series?
Oh, I don't want to say it. I think it's still going to be. I will bet my money on Australia winning the remaining two tests. The way they have played so far, this test match, I will still give it a luck factor to England. I still think Australia will take the other two.
I also feel Australia is still, pretty well suited to win this test series. I think.
As we talk about politics in Pakistan cricket or in Indian cricket, there is definitely politics in England cricket, 100%. And Johnny Bairstow having a spot in the team where there is so much talent sitting on the bench, I think that talks a lot about what is going on. It's friendship, it's how they play. He's a North guy, you know that. So is Ben Stokes, so is a few others playing in this team. Joe Root. I think there are a few others, if I'm not wrong. So I think, see, the quality in England was their ex-captain who resigned, who said that I'm going to retire because I think there is better strength in the team. See, that is where that's how you lead from the front. He's commentating. You can know that, right? And I immediately become his fan because he was peak of his career. He was leading the team in a very good way, winning. England was at the top, and he just retired because he saw that there is more talent and youngsters should be given a chance. So
no, absolutely. So okay, so share your updated prediction is 4-1 in favor of Australia.
I think yes. For now, yes.
So my view is Australia is going to win this. Whether it's 3-2 or 4-1, Australia is going to win. Zishan has a very bold prediction, which is that England are going to win 3 test matches on the trot and win 3-2.
I mean, they can.
There's another prediction which is very extremely cryptic.
Yeah.
And Lodi's prediction is 3-2, but he hasn't identified which team is going to win 3-2, right?
That's smart.
Yes. So, why play Todd Murphy when you're not going to back him? That's question one. And secondly, despite Moeen Ali, getting a few wickets and his bowling, returns looking pretty okay, do you think he's the solution to England's problem? Should he be the lead spinner?
See, first of all, let's talk about Moeen Ali, right? Moeen Ali is not a test match player, right? He's a good spinner for T20. He's a good asset for the team for T20s and one days. So you cannot play somebody like they're playing Johnny Bairstow. Same thought goes for them. You need a specialist spinner if you're playing a test match. Yes, don't play a spinner if you think the wicket is not suitable for a spinner. Just don't play it. Either get a batsman or a fast bowler or a medium pacer or a swimmer.
I think Saklan Bhai will be able to match Moeen Ali's bowling these days, right? He's bowling with injured fingers.
I mean, with the off spinner, age does not matter. You can bowl off spinner. I mean, Saklan can play a test match. I bet you, even if he's 50 years old, he can still play a test match.
You must be kidding, right?
I mean,
with his fitness, he can't even walk. So
I mean, he doesn't need to, right? He can field at third man or fine leg, and then he can bowl.
So I think you have the DHA Lahore tournament in mind because I know of a captain who does that. But we'll talk about it later.
Need to talk about that. Yeah, we have to mention him, but we need to give. Anyways, so coming back, and Todd Murphy, I think I saw a few of his overs, and I think he's a very good bowler.
Who?
Todd Murphy.
Oh, Todd Murphy. I thought Moeen Ali is a very good.
No. I think coming to him, I think he's a very good bowler. He's quicker through the air.
Why wasn't he interested with? Why wasn't he given?
I think their plan worked with the fast bowlers. I think it was working, and that's why. But again, you're right. Captain's confidence is the key, right? How much confidence? And with fast bowlers, with changes, I think it was working fine for Pat Cummins, and he was bowling short spells, and he had like 4 seamers playing, so he was just circulating with them, and England was losing wickets. So I think there was no need.
Shay, one other thing I wanted to highlight, I don't know if this is just a coincidence, but something, struck me after watching all these three matches. Have you noticed that in this particular series, if you're not bowling at rapid pace, you're not as, typically matches in England, you do get success even if you are bowling at early 80s, etc. As long as you can do something with you can move the ball around. But, by the way, Scott Boland is not a 120, 130 bowler. He's not like Ollie Robinson, right?
Yeah.
By the way, Ollie Robinson's injury a blessing in disguise for England.
100%.
100%. So they have no doubt.
There's no doubt in my head. He has not done anything.
Yes. He's been sledging.
Yeah, sledging is the key, but you can't sledge the sledgers. If that makes sense. They will give you back more. And when you're blue, we all know Australians are the biggest sledgers, right?
Has Bazball failed? Is Bazball in decline? Is Bazball over?
I think if they're sense smart and they assess the situation and then apply Bazball or normal test cricket, then they will be more successful. You cannot just go with one formula and apply it to everywhere. That's so
it hasn't failed. It will work, but it has to work selectively. And what do you think about Stuart McGill's claim that Bazball is a way of hiding certain players?
I mean,
so if Crawley, Duckett, all these guys, will you pick them if there was no Bazball?
If you have swing in the air, if the ball is doing something, or if you have exceptional pace, then his statement holds true 100% of the time, because you can go and swing the bat, get some edges, get some shots, and get out, and then blame it on Bazball because you are basically unable to play it properly, proper test match cricket, where you let it go. And that's the beauty of it.
Perfect. And your player of the match?
100% Mark Wood for me. With the bowling, I would give him 100 out of 100.
And the unfortunate criminal of the match?
Bairstow. I think he almost cost them the match.
So no one from Australia. So this was a match against England versus England. Mark Wood versus Johnny Bairstow.
Australia, I think, did what they did everything in the right.
I think there's serious question marks about David Warner.
He has been a legend. Let's just say he's made a lot of runs for Australia. They can't just get one inning. He's a good player, right? I think he's on end of his career. He's going to leave it soon. So even if he doesn't score, I mean, his legacy will still be there.
And what happens if Cameron Green comes back?
That is a good question. I don't have an answer to, because they cannot just get Mitchell Marsh out with Cameron. Maybe play both of them.
So I'll put an interesting proposition. I don't think maybe the Australian selectors don't agree with that, but remember, Travis Head can open the batting as well. So if Lyon is back, Lyon will always play. Both of us agree at least that Bazball is seriously under the scanner.
Yeah.
Australia's version of whatever you want to call it, Wallaby ball, Aussie ball, whatever you want to call it, is definitely working. It's not how it should be. So anyways, wrapping up, the third test of the Ashes, let's see what we have in store. It's been an extremely exciting series. And this reminds you of the beauty of test cricket.
That's good.
An exciting test match is probably the best thing to watch, even sometimes over a T20 match. So pretty exciting. And then we'll be back with more on the Ashes. So on that positive note, signing off.
Bye-bye. Thank you.